my debate of the week, ladies and gentlemen. A place where you have the ability to speak your mind and give many opinions that you want. Well, that's if anyone leaves an opinion. I'm not angry that many people don't leave opinions on my debate of the weeks, but I am glad that people want to see them. So this is about black wrestlers. And I'm going to mention 4, but I may add in an extra 1 or 2 at the end. I'm still considering them. But the first person I'm going to talk about is Kofi Kingston. Now, I could leave this for last because out of everyone I'm going to talk about, he's the one with the greatest potential. But I'm leaving him first because, let's be honest here. Yes, the WWE is racist and prejudiced due to the fact of Vincent Kennedy McMahon. We know this. What happened with ADR is 100% proof of it. Because it's not the point that Stephanie didn't like it. It's not the point that Paul Levesque, Triple H, didn't like what had happened. It's not the point that maybe Joey Mercury, the Nature Boy Ric Flair, Hulk Hogan, anyone else that is well known, that is working with the WWE right now. The point is, Vince is the one who does the final say in this. It's up to Vince. It's not always up to the shareholders, it's only him. So Vince is the main problem here. But next to that, let's be honest here. WWE's creative has always been notorious for not being able to handle more than 2 or 3 feuds. Anything beyond that, they tend to collapse. Mostly because, look, whether they have 1 team or 2 teams, they're doing a 7-day-a-week schedule trying to promote the shows, showing whatever they can and making it interesting. And that's a lot of work. And they could easily get burnt out. So I'm not 100% shitting on them. But they should do better. The WWE can do better, and they should do better. They're now doing the WWE app. They're now doing the WWE network. And that requires a lot of creative capability that the WWE should have. And the first person that should be talked about is Kofi, as I said. If Kofi didn't have Vince and Kenny McMahon racist and prejudice, and the creative team not being able to handle more than 2 or 3 feuds, this is what I think could happen right now. If they decide to push Kofi, what they could do is this. Kofi Kingston, who has been a US and tag team and IC champion, could turn heel. Turn him 100% heel. Have him go after people you know are prominent. Let him go after people you wouldn't expect him to go after. Let him go after Big Show, who has killed him more than a few times. Let him go after a Mark Henry, who he's dealt with before in a tag team. Let him go past Titus O'Neil. Let him go after Sheamus and do things that normally a Kofi Kingston wouldn't do. Let him win the IC championship and spit on it and say, you know what? I've gotten treated like crap. I'm going to carry this, but I'm going to say it's a piece of crap. And he throws it to the ground every time he brings it out and say, I don't need that damn thing. I am the best there is. And then you build up on top of that. Let a Randy Orton, who's a much better face sometimes in certain situations, and in this case, who buried him 5 to 6 years ago when he had to push, he'd be the one to job for Kofi to the point where then he becomes the World Heavyweight Championship. Well, champion. And has a championship. Do you believe that Kofi could actually handle it? Well, I don't know. That's the reason why we have a Randall Keith Orton deal with him. Then maybe even a John Cena or a Daniel Bryan if he's able to come back. Let Kofi deal with people like that and we see how far he can go. And if he can, then we know he can handle it. The next person I'm going to talk about is Mark Henry. Mark Henry, who is at this moment doing a prominent storyline with Rusev, is the best person I feel to get the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. When he had the World Heavyweight Championship, the ratings on SmackDown went through the roof. They did. That's not something I'm saying because I'm a fan of him. It's because he did. Why not let him go for Rusev? And I don't want to see Rusev get 100% buried here. Let him lose to Rusev. Let Rusev lose to Mark Henry. Then Mark Henry move on to the next people. Let him keep moving on. Let him go back up against Brock Lesnar again because he did get his ass kicked by Brock before. And he never really did 100% settle that. He just got his ass kicked twice, and they dropped it to go against John Cena. So seeing that wouldn't be a bad thing. No, not John Cena. It was Triple H. Then he disappeared. Then he came back and faced John Cena, and that's how it is. But essentially, let him go up against Brock Lesnar by, you know, should it be a TLC or should it actually be a Survivor Series? I say it should be by Survivor Series or TLC. It doesn't matter which one. It would be good at a signature pay-per-view, but it could be alright at that pay-per-view. And I wouldn't mind seeing it. So, if Mark Henry did win the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, I know that he would make that prominent and interesting, and people would love him and would cheer for him and scream sexual chocolate, the greatest and strongest man that ever lived, Mark Henry. Have to do it like that. When you're talking about the great people like a Mark Henry, you gotta put your hand over your heart, well above it, and say, Mark Henry. Now, the next person is Biggie Langston. Biggie Langston, who honestly needs a push, who could use a Mark Henry to get him over. Biggie could turn heel. I know he's not a very good heel compared to his face run, which is not the great either, but when he was in NXT, he actually is a very good heel. In the WWE right now, they basically buried him. But if he was allowed to take that attitude from NXT again and use it here in the WWE, he would get over as a heel. If he faced a Mark Henry could easily put him over and easily build a great feud and help him build his reputation. And one day he could actually get the World Heavyweight Championship. I would love to see a Biggie Langston in the main title scene because they need them. He does have the charisma. He does have the build. He does have, well, his in-ring work is a problem, but it can be worked out. People he worked with can easily help him. If you get a right person to work with Biggie Langston, you can actually do it. And I would love to see that from Biggie Langston. Lastly, not Bobby Lashley. Lastly is Naomi. When I saw the match between Naomi and Cameron on Raw, only because of that one moment that they showed them breaking up on Total Divas, it angered me. Because they could have waited until now for Naomi and Cameron to do a split off. They didn't have to do it in the ring. They didn't. But they wanted content for this show, so they're doing it now. Which is stupid. Because you know why? If they had done this now, and then done the show after that, showing that, oh hell, this didn't happen before, it's happening now, it would have been better. You know why? Because of Naomi hurting her eye. Because of what happened by Oksana. Naomi could not get the final push to become Divas Champion, which she should have. Instead of AJ jobbing to Paige the next night, she could have had a match with Naomi at WrestleMania, which Naomi deserved. She had built up well enough that she could have done it, but because she got hurt, they could not give it to her. And that's what my belief is. That's what I believe. So they could have done something better than this. Now, understanding you need to do the Paige thing, they could have done that. But right now, Naomi is the best person to try and get that championship. She's completely different. She flies around like a Kofi Kingston. She has a crowd behind her. She has incredible beauty. She has incredible athleticism. You see me botching because she's really good. And in the end, I really believe that she would make a great Divas champion. And you could have done something with both of them. You could have done something with Cameron and Naomi that when Naomi won the championship, you could have had Cameron go after her, which could have helped her. She could have still gone to NXT like she wanted to in the show, whatever. But the point is, this could have helped them both. And could have given us something that we don't get in a prominent storyline. Two black wrestlers facing one another for a championship. And in this case, two female black wrestlers. When the fuck have you seen two women wrestlers go at each other for the Divas Championship? You guys tell me below. And I'm not talking about NXT. I'm not talking about superstars. I'm not talking about none of that. I'm talking about this. When was the last time you seen it? How many years? And I'm talking about Alicia Fox versus somebody else. I'm talking about Alicia Fox or another black woman facing each other. That's something we don't get. And those are the type of ideas I believe would be great for the WWE if they actually push their black wrestlers. So I hope you enjoyed this debate of the week. Please give me a comment below and tell me, do you believe that my ideas are good for Naomi, Mark Henry, Biggie Langston, Kofi Kingston? I really believe that these would be not too bad. So I hope you have a good day and have a good night. Peace out!